Overloading or overtraining? Where have I landed after 7.5 weeks of training? Thank you so much for choosing my video to watch. I really appreciate it. If you are a first-time runner or thinking about running your first marathon as I am, you can follow me here for all my progress and mistakes so that you can plan for a successful event yourself. In answer to the question, I have definitely landed squarely into the overtraining/injury category, a sports hernia. Without turning into a medical channel, a sports hernia is not the type of hernia where a tear in the abdominal wall allows for your intestines to poke out, but rather a catch-all term that refers mostly to strains, muscle pulls, or tears in the groin, the hip flexor, or the lower abdominal areas. In my case, I was experiencing a lot of soreness in my hip flexor. I did my best to prop it up, and I did a pretty good job. Unfortunately, it seems as though that hip flexor soreness was masking more of the lower abdominal strain, which now hurts whenever I try to jog. So, despite trying to listen to my body, I have unfortunately landed on the DL anyway. My prescription, lots of rest, which, isn't great for when you're trying to train for a marathon. So where did I go wrong, and how can you know if you're doing too much? What are some of the signs for potential injury for you to watch out for? All fitness-related improvement is based on the concept of progressive overload. Whether you're strength training or improving your cardio, periodically increasing the intensity, the time, or the type of movement is what will instruct your body's processes to build in the structures of increased capacity. Fitness. Here are 3 strong signs of overtraining that you will want to be aware of, and that I clearly was not. Plus a bonus tip at the end. First, decreased performance. If you find that you cannot lift as much weight as before or run as far, that would be a sign. I really struggled to finish my 13-miler, which was my last real run, and a lot of that had to do with how my feet and my hips were feeling all week long. By the end, the pain in my hip flexor and my lower abs was persistent, and I knew that I had already crossed over into something other than just being sore. Had I perhaps listened more to how my feet and my hips were feeling from earlier in the week, I may have stopped and focused more on recovery work. I made a classic error in sticking to the program, when what I should have done was to drop the volume of running as well as the intensity. Second, increased fatigue. While this may seem like a restatement of decreased performance, this is really focused more on our outside training energy levels. One of the more useful metrics from my Garmin watch is the body battery level. While the feeling of my morning peak battery level often feels the same despite being a 65 or an 85, at the end of the day, when I drop to under 20, I know it. My eyeballs are drooping and bedtime is calling. It's when this is happening though at 6:30 rather than 10:30 that I and you need to be more tuned into. Focusing on these feelings in the evening or paying attention to the metric if you have a Garmin can mean the difference between a proper good night's sleep and recovery or successive days of pushing through low energy levels which lead to poor quality workouts, setting you up for injury. Third, and the most important one to be mindful of, chronically sore muscles and or joints. This may seem like the most obvious, but let me tell you, when you are into a training program, running, lifting, biking, whatever, you will look for ways to either minimize what you're feeling or rationalize why it's not a big deal. I did this before my marathon training even started, and I fell into the same trap with this situation by telling myself it was just the increased volume, and if I spent a little more time doing some warm-ups and strength work, it would all be fine. Yeah, no. I should have, and I want you to do this too, listened to the aches and sorenesses and modified down my training program to suit the new needs of my body. Aching feet and sore hips is not the same thing as DOMS from a tough leg workout in the gym. Your joints don't receive the same levels of blood flow that your big juicy muscles do, and so recovery will take longer. Would that have been less training intensity than I wanted? Yes. Is that a lot more than the 0 I'm doing now? Also yes. Looking at my plan and moving forward with a rewrite, the bonus tip for you guys and what I'll be following is this. If I am increasing the mileage, I am not increasing the intensity. April was supposed to incorporate a lot of hill work and speed work. However, I was, at the same time, sticking to a weekly increase in mileage of about 10%. I should have backed off on the increases if I wanted to do that. But it's all right though. I knew this first time marathon thing would get tough, and I'm okay with however it turns out. This just gets socked away for next time, and there will be a next time. All right, thank you again for choosing to watch my video. I hope it was helpful, and if you have an awesome tip for avoiding injury, let me know in the comments below. Get out there and train hard and go do something amazing.